Now, the main, obviously, you guys talked about the lawsuit in your previous with Alex, the other guy. So I'm not really going to get into that because he pretty much said everything that had to be said about the lawsuit. I want to go more towards the part where why are we being, when I say we, I mean DACA people, some TPS people, why are we included in this crossfire when obviously we speak perfect English? Now, if the big issue is safety is the big issue, and they're when I say them, it's like the government's making this news articles. They're making these news articles about when an American citizen, right, sees the news of a we're taking this license from a non-domicile CDA foreigners. In their head, they're picturing people that just got here like 2 years ago that speak no English and they're behind the roads. So what happens when people hear that news? Yeah, we're taking the licenses away from all non-domicile CDL holders, all these foreigners that are causing these accidents that are a threat to the roads. In a typical American, household, they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. But I don't think the media doesn't say deep inside the definition of a non-domicile. We're included in there. And told that we're a danger to that's the main thing, right? The danger, concerns. It's just does not.
We saw individuals that were here that were illegal aliens in our country get driver's licenses in sanctuary states, go forward and get commercial driver's licenses as well, and enter our roadways. And recently, we've seen a trend of us recognizing the crashes and the lives that they are perpetuating and happening on our roads across this country. In fact, I'm standing here today with many people who can speak to what they are seeing with these CDLs and these drivers with these illegal criminals and aliens that are in our country, and the danger that they present each and every day to the families that live in the United States. Now, many of these individuals that come into our country illegally may commit criminal acts as well beyond that, but then go to a state and get licensed and receive a commercial driver's license, many times are challenged in how they put that forward and how they do their work every day. We've seen over the years that they don't speak English, they can't read our road signs, that when they have enforcement activities with law enforcement officers, that they can't communicate with them, and it presents a danger many times over. In fact, putting these foreigners in tractor trailers like the ones you see behind me becomes extremely dangerous.
If the main issue is the English improficient, that's another thing. There's one thing called the EOP, and the other thing is the new rule. Now, the EOP, basically, the EOP is saying that we have to know English. The new rule, it's a whole different thing. And that's why people say, well, this rule has always been there. No, this rule is brand new. The EOP has always been there, but that's a whole separate thing. It's not our fault that they're not enforcing them at the ports. It's not our fault that they're not giving the test. We spoke about this earlier. I have never gotten that test. Is it why? Because the minute that I'm talking, they just don't find it that they should do it, or how do they go about it? And it's not our fault that they're offering these. The issue is why they're offering the test in other languages. If it's so much all English, only English, why that I think that's the front line. If there's a test available in other languages, then shouldn't we start there? But what I'm getting at is I have no problem proving that I am not a danger. I have no problem going by the laws. The difference between an American citizen driver and people like me is that we get fingerprinted every 2 years. Every 2 years, we get our fingerprints taken, and they take our background check. And pretty much it is not fair to say that we're a threat to this country when basically we get our fingerprints taken every 2 years and we do a background check. I just don't know how that's possible to say that
now,
we're a danger to the people.
Because of you have to clean up this mess. It's unfortunate that people like Jorge Luan, he's like a mass casualty. You know what I mean? Because, hey, for all the good people, it's unfortunate that, like they say, one bad apple spoils the bunch. And it's unfortunate, what happened under the Biden administration, them opening up the border, unleashing the floodgates, ushering these people into these sanctuary states, and then all types of corruptions and workaround and loopholes to get these people working and then put them in trucks, labor dumping, to fill this so-called driver shortage myth. And so now that we have to clean this mess up, it's bad. I don't know. The people who did it or were doing it the right way, were following the rules. It's unfortunate because at the end of the day, a non-domicile CDL it's not a permanent fix. So to fight for this in court, to try to say, hey, all he can say is it's not fair. This is not fair. This is not fair. His argument is it's not fair. Is it not fair? How about to the American citizens? Like how about to the people, owner operators who put out of business because of the labor dumping and the low rate and these people here that are not supposed to be here driving that have taken jobs, not just jobs, but undercut. They've undercut owner operators, people who may have had small mom and pop companies.
Pretty much, it is not fair to say that we're a threat to this country when basically we get our fingerprints taken every 2 years and we do a background check. I just don't know how that's possible to say that we're a danger to the people. That's the other one is the expiration date. My CDL expires the same day as my work permit. Now, whether there's other states that are doing it otherwise, I mean, obviously that's what they're saying they're doing it. But again, in general, that sounds to me like all this is a problem with the system. Is it the driver's fault? Who sets the expiration date? Is it the driver's fault that they don't do these tests? It's not the driver's fault. But to include us in something like that just doesn't seem fair, and that's the reason I decided to sue. Because it's not only about truckers, it's about bus drivers, it's about people that are driving mixed trucks. And I was brought here when I was a kid, and to answer the question that I see people ask a lot, if you've been here for so long, why aren't you just become a citizen? Just using common sense. If I'm saying that I'm doing this every 2 years, well, don't you think that if there was a chance for me to do it once and not do it again, I wouldn't do it? For DACA people, there is no pathway to citizenship.
Again, talking about what is his fault and what's not his fault. We get it. It's not your fault. We get that part. I think that's about it. I don't know, my man. I don't think it's going to be easy selling going forward, man. Again, y'all either win, but y'all win. It's going to be some new guideline that's going to come through, and it's just not going to be a smooth ride for y'all on the highway. I mean, it's going to be known now what we're dealing with on these highways. Let me say it like this. If I'm one of these type of drivers here, and I know that I got an issue, some concerns with my paperwork, my license. And that's another thing, man. We're not just saying non-domicile, but some of y'all have gotten driver's license in one state, and then y'all have gotten non-domiciles in another. You can't do that. So it's not just simply just saying, hey, we want to get you, targeting you. No, because we don't like you. It's just the system has been corrupted. But the thing for me, if I was one of those people in that position, I don't feel comfortable right now. Like if I'm a foreigner from wherever here in the United States, and from whatever reason, I'm using paperwork, I'm using a non-domicile CDL, I'm using a work authorization, anything that I'm just, and then my English is sketchy, I don't feel comfortable, right? I don't know how they do. I don't know what goes on in the mind of these people to be somewhere you're not wanted, to be somewhere where you can potentially get in trouble and you can get extradited out of the country, to willfully put yourself under the crosshairs of, I don't understand the mind frame. Like is it that Luke? Like, is it that fun? Is it that, you know what I'm saying? Is trucking that addictive that you're willing to risk? You could just kind of lay low in America, man, but you want to put yourself on a highway and risk getting caught and shipped up out of here quicker? I wouldn't feel comfortable being that person. I'll just turn it in, man. I'll turn in my keys. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm not wanted, and I know that any day I can get pulled over and locked up. I'd rather take my chances in whatever sanctuary city I'm in and just, you know what I mean, sit up around some old protesters and let them defend me instead of being out on the highway. That's all I got. Peace.